up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Zooey Deschanel, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me.
I feel like you're the perfect person to be wearing this with.
I think that's right.
I think I was literally before you came in, I was like, I hope she just like sees the vision.
I see the vision.
Like, what is this person doing? Happy holidays. How are you doing?
I'm good. Is that comfortable, by the way?
It's actually weirdly very comfortable.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect to wear this today. I had a sweater and jeans on, but then I just put this on for some social ideas, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe this will get us in the mood.
Yeah. I'm in the mood.
You're feeling festive?
And you're like, we're gonna ride that mood like the whole time.
We're riding it. We're gonna go through the holidays together. Yes. Okay, let's talk about the holidays. We're kind of in the middle of it right now. Do you have any good plans this year?
Like I'm such a traditionalist. Like I'm very much like I love like hanging out with family. I like singing Christmas carols. I like we're very festive. We decorate like big. We go big with the decorations.
Can you talk to me about decorations though?
Yeah.
Because so I don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to convince my husband like we need to like gear up, right? So I've been like trying to buy stuff for our house so when we do have kids one day, it's like a winter wonderland.
Right.
And he's like, okay, like I see the vision sort of, but I feel like I'm only going half in. So I think I need to, if you're gonna do it, you got to go all in. Like, do you do every room? Do you do some rooms?
We do a lot of rooms, but you know what? It does build up over the years, and then you do have to like, it's like you do have to edit, like because I'm really into Christmas, and then Jonathan's really into Christmas, so it's like I was the one in my family growing up. My dad comes from like a Quaker background, and if you know anything about that, they're very simple and plain, and you don't want to show off. And so like he liked Christmas trees with no decorations, and I was like, I love decorations. I want everything decorated, like over the top. And so I remember coming home like from college for Christmas, and no one had bought a tree, and there was like no decorations. And I went out and I got like a tree and all these decorations, and I decorated the whole house. So that's me. And then Jonathan's like probably even more.
Love.
And then we have these wonderful guys from Glitterville, which is like an awesome place in Knoxville, Tennessee, where they make all these Christmas decorations. They come and decorate our house. So
oh my God,
we're kind of spoiled.
One day, I'm going to be calling them.
Yeah, you'll call them. Yeah,
Wait,
I'll give you their.
Is your tree though? Does it have like really nice fancy ornaments, or do you do a couple where it's like your kids made it or you made it one year?
That's a great question. Okay, so so downstairs in our like main areas, we have 2 trees, and they're kind of themed. They're a little different every year. The one in the like living room last year was like champagne themed. This year it's a little more like gingerbready.
Love.
And then
themes.
Yeah, the themes were fun. And there's like lots of snow this year, like lots of fake snow. And then in the like family room, the big tree is very sparkly and colorful and like tinsel and stuff like that. But then upstairs in the kids' playroom, we put 2 trees, one for each kid, and they can decorate it however they want, and they can put all their homemade ornaments. And
that's so cute. Now, when are we putting up the tree? Because this is also another point of contention in my house. When are you doing it?
Sometimes
September 1st.
After Halloween. Sometimes it happens like last year. I think somehow it was right after Halloween because that's just how it worked out. This year, we put up the trees right before Thanksgiving.
See, I'm like, my husband's also Jewish, but like he fully supports me in my Christmas extravaganza. Yeah. And sure, it's like Christmica, but like it's Christmas, for the decorations. And so Matt is always like, it can't be September 1st, Alex. And I'm like, the minute it hits fall, we got to go. So now we've compromised and we did it right before Thanksgiving, which I feel like is good, right?
I think it's great because you want as long with that tree as possible. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the other thing you can do in a mixed like faith house is you do the Christmas tree with the Hanukkah colored ornaments.
Zoe, I'm going to go home tonight and I'm about to rock his world and be like, I have compromised. He's going to be like, oh my God. Honestly, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you host?
Yes. So yeah, we always like to do like Christmas Eve dinner and stuff like that for the family.
Have you ever had any hosting disasters?
We did have a Christmas party a few years ago, and our landscapers, who are amazing, brought in some mulch to to make everything look really fresh, but it accidentally had like fertilizer in it, which smells
no.
but it was completely honest mistake. But I was just like putting like cinnamon sticks, like trying to burn them everywhere.
Everyone's like, Zooey, your house smells so good.
Well, we were like, it's just fresh. It's just fresh.
Oh, okay, got it. But you're hosting more than you're going to places.
We like to host. We like to go places. We're social. We're social people. We're social people.
Talk to me about holiday movie. What is one holiday movie you have to watch every single year?
Die Hard.
Wait, Zooey. What? Wait, what?
Die Hard is a great Christmas.
Meanwhile, I'm like, so Elf is mine.
Right.
You're like,
I love
okay.
Elf.
Have you rewatched
but
it?
Since I'm in it, I'm not like. It's funny because my kids were a little resistant. They're a little resistant to watching me. They're not as resistant to watching like if there's something where I'm a voice, like Trolls. Freely watching that. But like if I'm in something, they're a little like, is that mommy or is that like? Yeah. It's
Wait, how old are they now?
They're 8 and 10, but just this year, my daughter said she wants to watch it with her friends. So,
Elf?
Yeah. So I was excited.
So you're probably about to become like the coolest mom. Slowly, you're about to be like,
maybe.
oh, it's about to turn for you.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't
It's one of the all-time greats.
Or they'll hate it and hate me.
Right? Be like, Mom, that was so
like
embarrassing.
such a dumb. I'm so embarrassed.
Okay, wait. So you were 21 years old
when
you filmed Elf.
Yeah.
Is it true that you actually were not going to first be booked for this role?
Yeah.
And then so what happened?
They had offered it when I met with John, the Favreau, the director. I walked in and he was like, "Oh, you don't need to read. We just offered it to Katie Holmes." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And he's like, "Well, sit down and talk for a minute." And I was like, "Okay." So what was great about that was like, I wasn't nervous. I didn't like have to like, it's like when you're an actor, you're like first starting and you're like auditioning, you get nervous and you're like psyching yourself up for like, I wasn't nervous at all because I was like, well,
I'm not getting the part.
I'm not getting the part. So it was kind of great because I was not nervous. And then when she had some scheduling conflict and then they were like, who should we have? And I think the character was kind of meant to be like, worked around whoever played her, and they knew I sang because I had a cabaret act where I do like jazz standards and stuff, and so that kind of worked out with the character. Yeah.
And at the time, do you think you all knew how big it was going to be because of Will, or did it still not really?
Will wasn't like he was just he was like had done Old School.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It was still on the rise. He hadn't done Step Brothers.
Yeah, he hadn't done Step Brothers. Like he hadn't done all of his like huge.
You didn't even know though it was going to be as big as it was.
Well, when I read it, I was like, I remember like giggling out loud, and I was like really enjoying myself, and I was like, that must be a good sign. And then I've taken that as like my litmus test. Like ever since then, I was like, like almost every time I like laugh out loud while reading a script. Because if you laugh out loud while reading a script, then you're probably going to laugh like even harder when you see someone doing it well.
Right. You had to have your hair be blonde. That wasn't a wig, was it?
No, that was because I was young and just starting out and trying to get jobs. And there was a movie about a pop star that was like floating around, and the producer really wanted me for it. And he was like, let's do a screen test. And they like dyed my hair blonde, put like extensions in it and all this stuff. And we did this like screen test. The movie never ended up happening, but I had this blonde hair for like a little bit, and I still hadn't dyed it back brown because I was like 21. I didn't have like that much money to like go and do my hair all the time. So I was kind of like waiting. I'm like, I'll grow out a little bit. And then once I got the part, I was like, well, can I dye my hair back brown? And they were like, no, you have to have the same hair you had when you came in. And I'm not sure where that came from, but that's what I was told. So then I had to like maintain this, which takes like 8 hours. Like if you have black hair, my hair is almost black. To dye your hair blonde,
girl, that's like the biggest undertaking ever. Like,
yeah, to strip really dark hair.
You would never do it again, would you?
I would wear a wig because it's not great for your hair. Like my hair, I will say that like my hair is like really stiff in the movie because it was bleached and then it was highlighted, you know? And then I remember I had extensions and of course I was like young and dumb and I remember they glued the extensions in. I couldn't get them out. And I was like trying to pull them and I like ripped my hair. I had like short pieces like that long.
I do remember because I just watched it this past week.
Her hair does not move.
It's literally perfectly curled up and it just like stays right there.
There's a reason for that.
Good to know.
It's called chemical processing.
Perfect. Okay, can you tell us, because it's holiday season and we're going to go through a lot of your movies, but what was your first impression of Will Ferrell? Because obviously that movie was so iconic.
He's like the nicest human being. Like anyone who's worked with him, like there's no bad experiences with him. He's so nice. He's nice to everybody. He's so fun. He's like game for anything. And I think the thing about Will is like he's super playful and fun and open and just like a nice person. And I think that kind of like informs who he is as an actor because he's like so willing to play, you know?
No, yeah. I like kind of forgot how like physical comedy he was in that movie as I was rewatching it. I'm like, oh my God, there were so many moments where you're like, whoa, what are his legs doing and all the things? Like it's so funny. Do you have any, like if you can remember like your favorite scene to film together in that movie?
Oh my gosh. I like doing all the stuff in the department store because there's like so much like kind of farcical energy to that. It's like, you know, and like fun characters. Like when he's like, I know Santa, and then Santa comes, it's not the real Santa, and then he starts like freaking out. There's so much fun stuff in there.
Daddy Gang, the end of the year is the perfect time to set up your big next move. Whether you're starting something new or you're building your brand, Shopify can be your chief of staff and your co-founder, helping you plan, launch, and grow so you head into 2026 ahead of the game. When I'm thinking of the year ahead, I know I want to take things up a notch when it comes to Unwell events. That's a main priority. And I had the best time meeting you guys last year all over the country. And I want to just keep making the parties bigger and better than ever before. So whether you're throwing events, starting a side hustle, or you're opening a storefront, Shopify takes all the guesswork out of running a business. Shopify Magic and the suite of AI tools are a total game changer. It's revolutionizing the way that you can build and manage a business. And if you are starting out solo, that is literally totally fine. Shopify basically becomes your back office so you can stay focused on what really matters. You'll have your own AI assistant helping with literally everything. Directions, reports, photo edits, content ideas. Shopify's got it covered. You guys already know Shopify has made my life so much easier when it comes to running different branches of Unwell. It's been in my life, I feel like literally for forever since starting this company, and I'm always on the go. So being able to scale and keep a tab on things from my phone has been so key for me. I also love being able to see where you guys are shopping from and what you all want more of. So Daddy Gang, it's time to build your brand. Head to shopify.com/daddy to see how easy it is to start your business today. Both of your parents worked in Hollywood, right?
Yes.
Your mom was an actress. Your dad was a cinematographer.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in a house with such creative, artsy energy?
Oh, that's a good question. My parents are like, it's like they're not like my mom was like a working actress, like not famous or anything, but she did really well and she's really smart and great. And then my dad's like an artist, you know, like he's just like everything, like he loves taking pictures. Like even still, like we were in Rome this summer, like all of us. And like we'd have to go out at like they'd go out every day at 5 a.m. and it's like to find the light for the
shot.
The picture,
just to get the shot,
just to take pictures. Yeah. Just like
wow.
he's taking pictures of buildings and he's taking pictures of my mom and me. And everything is always like, it's just like he just sees the world in this like, incredible way. But yeah, so they're both really creative, artistic people and have like amazing taste. So I do remember like growing up and being like if I liked a movie that was kind of silly, I was like, don't say anything because they have like such good taste,
Oh, interesting. So
like I remember liking like silly sitcoms and stuff like that.
Course.
And being like,
don't tell my dad.
Say anything
Because he's like, that's no. Let me show you something.
He was
like
watch the Godard movie.
Oh.
Which I love too. But like, I remember this sense of being like, like
wait, there's like a high standard.
Their standards were so high that I remember being like, yeah, like too crazy.
Yes. I really related because I saw you said in an interview that 7th grade was the worst year of your life.
Yes.
Which then I was like, is that just like a lot of our experience? Because 7th grade was literally the worst year of my life.
Tell me.
I think it's like when you're that age, there's a coming of age where everyone's starting to maybe like actually look at boys and girls and like maybe start to be more aware of the way everyone looks and the differences and sexuality and all these things. And like, I just was like a very awkward, like lanky acne braces kid. And I just didn't fit in the way that my friends were. Yeah. And so I experienced just like a lot of bullying because kids are horrible. Yeah. And at that age, if you're not with the crowd and you are, conforming to what everyone feels like is the normal standard, then you just stick out like a sore thumb and then everyone like puts you down for it. Yeah. So I experienced that. And then when I read that, I was like, 7th grade.
7th grade is the worst.
What happened in 7th grade for you?
I was similarly awkward, but different. I was like kind of chubby and not that there's anything wrong with that. It was like would have been fine if I hadn't been ridiculed for that. And just like an awkward person. I hadn't quite like figured out my personality yet. And like all the friends that I had been friends with kind of like splintered off into other groups and changed and were different and like not the same support situation. And then you have like all your hormones and everything. But what was funny about 7th grade is I joined a swim team and separately I had this one girl who like bullied me like really bad, who like spit in my face, like was just awful. It was like those things. I remember her going like, "You're trying to act like you're thin," which now I'm like, this was like the mid 90s. I'm like, now nobody would say that, I don't think. But like, I remember her saying that to me and being like, I was like, am I trying to act like I'm thin? I don't think so. I think I'm just acting like myself.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But in that context, you're like, how does that kid and what's going on at that kid's house that they feel comfortable to speak that way to another person? And then you're sitting there being like,
and I was like, I don't think so. And I'm also like, I also was like, why are you coming after me? I was like, I was trying to hide from her all the time. But yeah, but I joined the swim team and I like lost about 30 pounds over the year. And then I grew 6 inches over the summer. And so when I came back, I had like a new lease on life because 8th grade, everyone was like, are you the same person? You look really different. So it was kind of like fortunate that like my growth spurt happened in this like weird.
Dude, that is like literally like a movie. Like you walk in, you're like, I'm back, bitches. Yeah,
I was like, I also was like not even aware because I went to summer camp and I came back and then everyone was like, you look totally different.
Do you feel like anything that you went through has informed as a mother, like how you're talking with your kids, just like making sure they're good in school and everything? Because when you experience that, I have like a soft spot. I don't even have kids yet. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to like make sure that I'm going in their rooms and talking with them and making sure that they're okay and how they're being treated. Yeah. Because I didn't tell my parents. Did you share that with your parents that you were getting bullied?
I shared it with my parents. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things, like, I think we can't always control how other people act toward them, but we can help them, give them tools like on how to react when people do something that's not very nice, and also help them be the kindest people they can be, you know?
Do you feel like anything from your childhood, just in terms of like those not even light, but just like insecurities?
Yeah.
Do you still feel like any of that shows up today in your day-to-day life?
I mean, of course it's like in there, but like, it's like, in a good way. Like I like all those things that like anytime you like go through something difficult, it helps like you become stronger. But I think I've made a real effort to never like show any, like I have a daughter and a son, and I don't want them to ever think like, oh, mommy's insecure, or, you know, like my mom doesn't like, you know, this, or, you know, I always want them to think like I'm happy with myself, and like, because they get their self-esteem from their parents, you know? So yeah, it's important to me to like show up with confidence. And
I think about like Hollywood is such an extreme especially for women on just like focusing on looks or weight or aging or all the things. Like, what has your experience been as a woman in this industry dealing with, if anything, like criticism over your appearance?
You know, it's funny. I think it's like, I think you can you can let it roll off you, and it doesn't really affect you as long as you let it like not affect you. It's when you like internalize it too much, or you start to be like, oh, you know, and you let those sort of negative things like fester, and, you know, but I think when you kind of like, you know, let it roll off you, and also just see that like those things, they don't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people talk about them like they do, but they don't, when it comes down to it, that's not what's important. And so, you know, I definitely think that being, you know, having a strong sense of self beyond that is really important.
I mean, that's a beautiful message too, because I agree with you. It's like you can only control, like you said earlier, of like what your response is going to be to things. And I think especially if we're never going to not get it as women. So at some point it can become, in a good way, you can have autonomy over your life to be like, I'm so much more interesting than the way I look and my weight and my age and all of those things. Yeah. And so if you can focus more on those, then I think you're going to live a healthier and happier life. That's understandably, it's so hard in moments.
And then people don't see it really. Like, it's like then they move past it, you know? It's like you really see if somebody's really struggling with that and they're really internalizing it. I think it's such a tricky thing. I mean, too, I think my identity was never super wrapped up in my appearance. I always made an effort to be like, is like more about what I'm presenting is more about my style and like artistic and creative expressions versus, like I'm so just naturally perfect. Do you know what I mean? It's like all those things are so ephemeral, and, you know, they change, and there's, you know, they're subjective. And so I think not having my identity so wrapped up in like what I looked like when I was 25 is really great.
Well, and I love that, because I think there's a lot of young women that listen to this show, and I think it's nice hearing that, because I do feel that from you. Like, when I think about Zooey Deschanel, I'm like, oh my gosh, your style and like your energy, I think it reads so much in a movie or in, you know, interviews you've done or print or whatever you do. Like, you have such a very specific sense of style and a unique individuality that I really respect. And I think especially with social media and as more kids grow up with it, I think trends can be very all-encompassing, where people are almost like copying each other because they think like, this will make me cool or this will make me cool. And what's actually so much cooler is being like, you're this like unique individual that people kind of can't copy you or want to copy you because you're so true to yourself.
Start the trends, don't follow them.
Yes. Can we talk about your career?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start doing auditions at 16 years old. Yeah. Did you have any like memorable disaster auditions where you were like, how did that just happen to me?
Yeah. I mean, so many. It was like a whole year of like terrible auditions. I remember too, preparing. There was like one where I was reading for like some huge director. Was like, I want to say it was like Christopher Nolan or something. And I was like And they called me in, and I had prepared for days. But then when I got there, I just completely like just got so nervous. I forgot everything. And I was like, and then the casting director was like, called my agents and was like, well, she was super unprepared. And I was like, no.
I just got really nervous.
So nervous that I just like screwed up so bad. I have like a lot of learning differences, and I grew up like bad ADHD in a time when not a lot of girls were diagnosed with it. It was like, and I had like the combined type, which means I had like hyperactivity and inattentiveness. So a lot of stuff going on. So like I sometimes have to spend a little more time learning things and preparing, which I know well, but that's why it took me. And then once I know how to prep, then I know how to prep. But I think that it was still in this like exploratory phase where I'm like, I did spend a long time preparing, but it didn't really work. Yeah. I luckily have my mom is a great actor, and she like when I was growing up, like would like coach me, like help me prep for auditions. So that was like hugely helpful. But
I feel like the conversation around, yes, like so many especially young women were never like diagnosed at certain ages where you're like, what, like whether you're feeling like you're like failing in school or you're like feeling embarrassed. I guess
she's just not smart.
Yes. And it's like, no, that's not it. She just learns differently or whatever it be.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, because I know you then went to Northwestern and you intended to go to college.
Yeah.
Then you left because you got a movie.
Yeah.
Were you kind of happy to get away from school because you didn't feel like maybe that was your place, or did you kind of, was it a hard decision for you to leave college?
It was hard. And I will say this. So in elementary school, it was a real struggle. But I'm a pretty like nerdy person. Very love studying. And so by the time I was in high school, I was like thriving in school. So it was just kind of coming up with the right strategies for me. And back then, like they didn't really like readily medicate people. I was not medicated. And like it was just coming up. It was just more realizing I need more time. So if one person takes like, you know, an hour to study, it might take me like 2 hours because I have to like leave in space to like daydream and like, you know, but then I might come up with something like really interesting that's different. And so I think it was kind of a matter of like accepting how I was. And then, so yeah, I thrived in high school. I got really good grades and was like, graduated with honors and then went to Northwestern, and I loved it. But it was what I realized was like my focus had always been on being an actor. So I made a risky decision, which was sort of I had put a storage locker like on hold for my stuff, like from my dorm room, because I'd gotten a movie and I was going home. And I was like, gonna go back. And I was like, I'll put all my stuff in there. And then I got there and they didn't have the reservation. And I was like, that's it. I was like,
this is a sign.
I was like, that's a sign. I was supposed to do a photo shoot for like British Vogue or something. And they'd given me money to fly home. And it was like in traveler's checks or something, I remember. And I was like, well, I'll take like, my flight wasn't quite that amount. And they'd given me just like a budget. And then I was like, okay, I'll just use the rest of that money to ship my stuff home.
And you never went back.
And I never went back.
Did your family support you? Like, did you have any hesitations of leaving college?
My parents were really supportive. They because they both got to do this, like, you know, these creative things and got that, like, you do what you got to do. And there is still a part of me that's like, I love school and I want to go back to school sometime. I just don't know what I want to study, but I love school. But my parents were supportive. It was more like when I'd run into like my parents' friends, like at the grocery store, they'd be like, go back.
Right. They're like, sweetie, what are you doing with your life?
Sweetie, what are you doing with your life? And I made this decision where I was like, well, I don't want to brag, so I don't want to tell anyone that I got a movie, and that's why I left school. So I'm just going to be like, I quit. Stop. And they just thought I was like the biggest loser. Like, I mean, for like a year until this film came out, I was just like, Zooey, like, really went off the rails.
I feel like that speaks a lot, though, to your character and who you are, where you don't care what people think. The fact that you are in the grocery store being like, yeah, I just quit. I'm a loser. I'm doing nothing with my life. Meanwhile, you're like, it was minus 1 year till you find out.
it was fun to see like how judgmental people are when they think.
Isn't it crazy?
It is crazy. It is.
And
crazy.
I hope that now there is more acceptance around just like traditional linear paths of like you go to school, then you do this, then you do this, and you get the job and it's 9 to 5 and you do this. Like there's just so much more, I think, out there for people that don't want that. I'm not saying there's a problem with the traditional path, but I do think it's cool to see how people have actually been now becoming more open to like a lot of kids aren't supposed to go down the path that maybe their parents did, and that's okay.
And some kids like need a gap year. Like they have to travel, they have to see the world a little bit, or they need like time to like, because sometimes high school is like a lot of pressure. I mean, I know I was like studying all the time, like doing theater too, but like, I mean, I was just like, I felt like a lot of pressure academically and, you know, and I didn't really do a lot of social stuff. Like that's how like, and so like I was like, and then when I went to college, I was like, whoa, like because it's a lot. There's a lot going on.
It's a good point. It's like we feel like we just have to do these things, but then when you check in, it's like there's so many kids in high school that are like, I'm about to burn out. Like I can't keep doing this, and being in tune as a parent, hopefully, to be like, what does this child need compared to my other child or whatever.
That's the thing that's cool about having kids is you see like when they grow up and they're like, mine are like 2 years apart and or a little less than that. So they're pretty close in age. So I could see like what's developmental and like what, you know, whatever they walk between this age and those types of things. And then like, what's their personality? And you'll see glimmers of their personality when they are like newborns. That's what's amazing. There's like stuff that stays with them.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think was your breakout role?
That's a good question. I'll have like versions of, I mean, I would say like Elf was probably it because that was like the first movie that I did that was like big, you know? Like I did Almost Famous and that was like, I got a lot of like really nice kind of notices and people really liked that film, but Elf was kind of like on this, felt like more global or something, and I was a bigger part. So
another movie that people obviously fell in love with you in was from 500 Days of Summer. I mean, obviously, I feel like a lot of people are like, that is like my favorite coming of age movie. A lot of people love it. You ended up always kind of like defending your character Summer against accusations that she was the villain of that story, which is so crazy. And I think hopefully now people would look back and be like, what? But at the time, it really felt like people were like, she's the problem. Like this was messed up. What do you think people got wrong about her?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of things about that. I think it's changed a lot. Like the point of view about that movie. I think I was really shocked actually when it came out because we all kind of had the point of view that this was kind of like they're a little bit star-crossed, like she's in one place, he's in another, and like it's all from his point of view, and you kind of see the tragedy of the fact that he wants more and she sees this as something passing and isn't ready for this yet. And then when it came out, all of a sudden I especially wasn't so much girls, but it was guys. They'd be like, I fucking hate you, Summer. I would be like, whoa, wait a second. I was shocked. I was like, wait, she's very clear with him from the beginning. Like, I'm like, what more do you want from her? So she has to do what he wants, like no matter what. I was just really surprised that was the takeaway. And I understand that sometimes people don't know what to do with their emotions, and that probably they just felt like they were really like shipping this couple. They're like, we want them to be together, but she said like, I don't want anything.
I know, that's what's so crazy. I also just feel like maybe we are now more progressive as a society.
Yes,
so like, especially women are like, you couldn't be more clear. You're like, I want to keep things casual. And then he keeps seeing the girl. So it's like, okay, if you're down with this. I remember after that movie, the term manic pixie dream girl became just like this whole conversation. And to anyone maybe who's like my younger audience that isn't familiar with that term, can you explain what manic pixie dream girl means?
It's it's the term everyone seemed to use to describe like any female in a movie that was left of center or different, that wasn't just like the hot girl, like someone that had thoughts in her head, had opinions, was a little different. I know the first I went on a deep dive because I remember being like, wait, every time I would be in something, I would be reduced to this. And I it was something a journalist used to describe Katie Holmes in Pieces of April, which was like an indie movie that went to Sundance like in the early 2000s. And then since then they just used, and like then they used it to describe like Natalie Portman in Garden State and like pretty much like, and then somehow every character I ever played. And I'm like, I don't think all these characters are the same. And I mean, it just felt, to be honest, a bit like, let's come up with a new thing and let's be a little more creative, because it started to also feel like an insult or something. Like it was used as in this, that the manic pixie dream girl, this was a way to make this character that was meant to be highly, like 3-dimensional, trying to make it 1-dimensional. And I was like, no, actually the point is to make a character 3-dimensional, not 1-dimensional. So, I was always a little bit like, look, you have to take everything in stride and realize that people call you stuff like all the time, and you have to have a thick skin about it. And it's fine, whatever. If people want to call me that, cool. But in my opinion, I think it's lazy to keep using it.
I agree. No, it's also crazy because like you come up with these tropes and these names that media obviously more centered towards women on these, because I agree. It's like, if it's not just like the bombshell, like Bond girl, then it's like, where does the woman
we
fit?
don't know what to do with her.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, she's like multidimensional. What a concept. Meanwhile, you're watching like all these men.
She
in
reads
these
books.
movies,
What do I do?
Whoa, she has glasses on, and she, like, it's like what? Like,
is like Belle from Beauty and the Beast a manic pixie dream girl? That's my my question.
Such a good point.
Is Tiana a manic pixie dream girl? She's like an entrepreneur. Are we manic pixie dream girls? Do we move like Disney princesses into the manic pixie dream girl era?
It's such a good point. It's like, if that is what they're basically saying, then I guess the goal should be to strive to be
Everyone
a manic
should want to be a manic pixie dream girl.
Because you're clearly like getting people so riled up that you're not
they're
conforming.
Really emotional about it. I'm like, why are you so emotional about this manic pixie dream girl thing? You're very upset.
Right. I'm glad though. It's like, it's getting you going. It's making you think. I'm happy my art is like touching you in that way.
Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it. Okay. Another one of your most beloved characters was Jess from New Girl.
Yes.
Obviously. How do you remember feeling when you first read that script?
I absolutely loved that pilot script. Like I remember where I was when I read it, because I was in the Virgin Atlantic Lounge in London, and the script was called Chicks and Dicks. That was, and I was like, do I want to read this? Like, I was like, what?
You're like, whoa.
I was like, Chicks and Dicks, like, what is this about? And then everyone was like, no, it's really good. And then I read it, and I was sitting there, and I was like, ha, like laughing out loud. And I was like, well, that's a great sign.
Wow. There you go. Back to Elf. So I know that eventually the writer started to draw inspiration from you as an actual like person and put it into the show a little bit. What parts of yourself did you see reflected in this character?
I would say all of us had like, when you're on a show that goes a long time, they like kind of have to do certain things, especially like a sitcom, I think. They'll take certain parts of your personality because they know they can kind of take advantage of those things. You know what I mean? Or they get your rhythm and how you talk and like how you're going to say things. So it's like, you'd always have like instances where they would write things that come out of your mouth like perfectly by season, you know, like probably by the end of season 1. And so getting those things like how to, you know, so they start to get you. And then like for Jess, like, you know, it's like I like crafting and stuff like that. Like there would be things where, you know, there was an episode that I felt like was great because we were dealing with this a lot where people were kind of criticizing the Jess character and me for being like feminine in a way that was maybe to some people passé or something, like as if I like crafting because I think it like makes me like a trad wife or something. Like, no, I like it because it's fun and creative and maybe it's relaxing. And there was a great episode that Jess and Julia, sorry. There's a movie called Julia.
Yeah, Julia and Julia. Yeah.
Jess and Julia. And it's just this character, Julia, is basically a lawyer and she doesn't like Jess because Jess is like, likes all these kind of feminine things. And it was kind of written as a little bit of a, you know, reaction to a lot of this. There was a little bit of girl on girl hate, you know, where it's like, you're different from me, so I'm not going to like you. Like, it's like, why, like, who cares? Like, there's not one way a woman should be, you know? And like, we all have masculine and feminine traits and they come out in different ways. And I think now it's a little different, but that was a little while ago. And I love the way they reacted to that thing, you know?
Trust me, I think it is really unfortunate because I do think the girl on girl thing is still happening. Like I see it online every day almost where
I'm sure,
women are tearing other women down because it's like, oh, like she's trying to be like this or she's trying to be like this. And it's like, guys, now like the men aren't even a part of the conversation anymore. Right. It's literally just all these women going at each other. And it's like, let's all just like let each other be and just accept that you made to like crafting and that's okay. Right. And that doesn't mean you're being try hard to appeal to the male gaze. Like what if you literally just like doing it?
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I was pretty fascinated. Like in a similar way to the 500 Days of Summer thing.
It is crazy how sometimes the shows I'm sure you are on, then they spark a larger conversation and you're kind of like this vessel to people starting to look and be like, oh, wow, we need to now make a social commentary again in another episode. And then there you guys did it. So it's kind of cool.
It was fun to be able to be on something where they could respond in real time and we could kind of make something out of.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. I will always be the first to say it. The holidays can feel like a lot between all of the family expectations and the travel. It is so easy to forget about yourself in the middle of all of it. And that's why BetterHelp is encouraging you to rewrite your traditions this year by making time for you. Therapy can be a way to slow down and take care of yourself when everything's supposed to be joyful, but ends up feeling hectic and a little lonely. The holidays look different for everyone. Maybe it's baking pie with your aunt or starting something new like a chill night in with friends. Therapy can be one of those traditions too. BetterHelp gives you space to pause, reflect, and actually feel grounded. They match you with a qualified therapist based on your goals and preferences. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch at any time. With over 30,000 therapists and more than 5 million people served, BetterHelp helps you close the year with clarity instead of chaos. This December, start a new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off at betterhelp.com/daddy. That's betterhelp.com/daddy. The internet was pretty divided on whether or not Jess and Nick should have ended up together. There was a lot of back and forth. Zoe, what was your take?
My take was actually I kind of wished, this was just my own personal feeling because I like leaving things a little unfinished because I like people to decide like what they think happened. And it's sometimes unsatisfying for people. And I know it's not like really a network TV type ending, but I thought we should like end it before people knew whether it happened or not.
So in their heads, they can come up with what it was.
Like The Graduate ending is like my favorite ending because you're like, okay, he got her out. She's not getting married to this other guy. She ran, she's with him, But do we know if they're gonna? Then Hello Darkness, my old friend,
Right. We have no clue.
I'm like, Sound of Silence starts playing. I'm like, what's happening? And then they have this like moment of like, we don't know. I like that.
Okay, that's interesting. I like that you're like, maybe
I want to let
should
them decide. I'd rather let the people argue.
let the people. I love that. Okay, I heard that you don't like to call it fuck, marry, kill. You prefer to say marry, bury, one night stand.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Mary, bury, one night stand. Nick.
Okay.
Schmidt. Winston.
Great question. I don't want to be like mean because I love these people.
No. The bury is like just like put them to the side. We're not actually burying them.
Okay. I think you have to
do it from the perspective of Jess.
I think Jess would say, well, okay. Let's just say, and not the actors because I don't want to,
the characters.
The characters. Let's say Mary Winston, one night stand Nick. And I'm sorry we have to bury Schmidt because he does a lot of bad stuff.
Love. Okay, you had both of your kids while filming this show. Did you have any hesitations about starting a family during a really busy time in your career?
That's a really great question. It was hard. I mean, I remember being like, before I could tell anyone I was pregnant, like, because when you're like less than 12 weeks pregnant, you're not supposed to tell. But I remember being like 11 weeks pregnant or something, and you're not supposed to drink coffee. Like, you're not like, you're like 1 cup of coffee. And I'm used to working like really, really long hours. Like, people don't realize like in TV, you work like, in films, like you work like 16-hour days, like normal. So I remember, and nights and like crazy. And I remember working a night, and it was like a really long day. And I couldn't drink coffee, and I was just drinking like orange juice like nonstop, and just being like, this is crazy.
Was anyone like, Zoe, do you want a coffee? And you're like,
and I'd be like, no, thank you. I'm loving this juice. It's like, they're like, we've never seen you drink orange juice before. I'm like, but I'm loving it now.
Oh my God.
It's like the only way I could keep awake was like sugar. Like,
okay, so you at first were like, okay, I'm trying to hide it. And then once did you tell your cast first? Did you announce it to the world? Like, how did you go about that?
Yeah, I told them like a little bit before I announced it. And then like, they kind of had to write it in. So yeah, I told them and then they, or not write it in. They had to figure out whether they want to write it in or hide it, which they chose to hide it both times. I did think it would have been cool to have written it in because that would have been a cool storyline, I think. But I know there were a lot of great minds thinking on it, and they decided not to. And I was just like carrying around laundry baskets like for whole seasons.
Constantly holding things
behind planters.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that you've faced balancing motherhood and career?
Ooh, that's another great question. Okay, so I like really want to be a good mom, and I always like want to show up for them like whenever I can. But yeah, I mean, I realized that whenever I'm off work, I just show up for like everything. Like, I'm there picking them up. I'm dropping them off. Like, I'm crafting in the, classroom. I'm taking them to play dates. Like, I'm going and sitting and waiting for them outside their, their dance classes and all the things. And then when I'm working, I just try as much, like, I'm like, okay, now it gets to like, okay, they get that, I have to work, and now I show, it's like, then it's like the school play. Like, there's certain things where it's like, you gotta be there in as much as you can. I get, sometimes you can't, but like try to get there for like whatever, the big game or the school play or like those big things, because those are the things they remember a lot.
That's what I feel like a lot of women, especially in a beautiful way now that so many more women are working.
Yeah.
I think that there's the fear that a lot of women also talk about, the reality of mom guilt.
Yeah.
And being like, oh my God, I'm here, but I also wish I was here. And like, how have you kind of balanced that when you are working to not let it just like overtake you? Because it can feel probably like a lot.
Well, sometimes you feel like you're like, you're like, do these people have endless time? Like some people just have a lot of time to go and volunteer all the time, and it's amazing. And I like that is an incredibly important thing, but I don't always have time to do that. And it doesn't mean that I'm not a great mom. You know, I think it's like understanding that like kids, if they feel loved, like that's the most important thing. And, you know, and it's like, everyone has different ways. Like, it's just like you connect with any person, whether they're a grown up or a kid, but it's like you connect with your kids in unique ways. And it's like my kids and I each have specific things we connect on. And I try to like really lean into those things, you know. We make little movies together. That's like something we do. And we'll like pick a genre and like watch a movie in the genre, and then we'll make a little movie in the genre and I'll edit it. And my son likes to do like stop motion animation, so we try to work that in. And then my daughter likes to loves acting, so they
You're a good acting partner to have.
Well, I don't even act in
You're
them.
just directing.
They act in them.
Oh, you're directing and editing.
It's really cute. Yeah, I direct
That's
and edit,
adorable.
and it's really fun. And so it's been. And sometimes I'm surprised, like we watched The Maltese Falcon because we were making a film noir, and I was like, there's no way they're going to sit through this. And then they sat through the whole thing. They were like totally happy.
Look, you're doing what your dad did. Now they're going to have good taste.
Right.
You have good taste. They have
need
good
to
taste.
have good taste.
Let's talk about your relationship.
Yes.
You are engaged
Yes.
to Jonathan Scott.
Yes.
I know that you guys met filming Carpool Karaoke, which is literally adorable. At what point, though, did you realize that you were into him and that there was like a spark or a connection?
Right away, I was like, he's really cute, like handsome guy. And I was like going through a divorce that was like kind of under wraps because we were, you know, like for our kids, we were like, you know, in divorce mediation. And so I was just kind of like looking for someone to flirt with. Like I was like, oh, I'll flirt with him. He's fun, you know? And yeah, we like immediately had a connection. And it took a while for him to like drag it out that I was like getting a divorce. And then, and then we've been like inseparable ever since. He's like the nicest person.
And your siblings were both in the car for Carpool Karaoke. Afterwards, was your sister like, this is a no-brainer, or did they not see the chemistry?
She might have been like, I knew that. I was like, I'm going on a date with Jonathan. Like, she might have been like, I knew it.
That's such a sister thing to like pretend they knew I'm like, no, you didn't. No, that literally never happened.
Well, she kind of does know everything, but
I know. I don't like to let my sister know that she knows everything.
Do you have an older sister?
Older.
Yeah. So she's older, so she doesn't.
My sister knows everything, but I'm like, no, you don't.
No, you
She's
don't.
Like, okay. Anyways, come to me when you want the answers. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so you go from Carpool Karaoke to dating. Like, who made the first move? Like, what happened?
Well, it was probably like a mutual like first move. But we had a really like funny first date where like half the time he was trying to drag it out of me, like what was going on. And I was like, I'll tell you later, because we were like in a crowded restaurant, and then we did like karaoke, and like we were just going from thing to thing. And then he's like, I want you to see this house I'm renovating. And I was like, oh, he's going to try to kiss me. And then he didn't, because he's just a nerd who's trying to show me a house. And then I was like, well, that went like really badly.
Stop.
And I got in the car, and he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you left really fast.
And you're like, I thought I was going to get a makeout. And then
I was like, I thought we were vibing.
And you eventually got your kiss, so you're fine.
Yeah, we did.
What is
second date?
Perfect. What is Jonathan's best quality as a partner?
He's like he's very kind. And he's like almost like methodical about making sure you're like everything's like you're supported. He's very supportive and kind, and just he's a really nice person. I mean, he's Canadian.
Done. That we
Canadian.
Say no more. I'm like, got it.
We love Canadians.
We love Canadians. What do you think he would say your best quality as a partner is?
I'm fun.
I'm literally the life of the party, obviously. How cute. You're like, I bring the good time.
I'm very fun.
And he's kind and I'm fun.
He's also really fun too.
Oh, cute.
I'm kind too. I have good taste in men.
Done. Okay, so you got engaged, I know, at a castle on vacation.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did you have any idea you knew you were getting proposed to? Nothing.
I had thought other times we might get engaged, and then it didn't happen. And so I was like, I guess it's never gonna happen, because we'd been together a long time. And we were in Edinburgh, where his family's from. And I also am originally Scottish, like my family. And but his dad is from actually from near Glasgow, in Lanark, and which is I don't know, an hour from Edinburgh. Anyway, he loves Edinburgh Castle. And we were going there with the kids, on a tour. And there was this was what was so funny. There were all these things that I flagged, but didn't I just said that's weird. Because there was a thing that said you might meet members of the royal family, so you can't wear a hat in the calendar. There will be things. And I was like, what? I was like, the queen, they wear hats all the time. Royal family is obsessed with hats. Why can't I wear a hat? Because I'm always wearing a hat because I don't want sun. I'm terrified of the sun. And I'm like, that's so lame. And he's like, no, I mean, it makes sense. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't wear a hat. Then it was he's like, you have to dress kind of nice. And I was like, okay. And then I had a silk blouse and a silk skirt. I just put them on. They were in my suitcase, so wrinkled. He's like, oh, would you like to iron those? And I was like, no. I was like, iron? That's that sounds terrible. That sounds like work, right? That I don't want to do. And he's like, I'll iron them. And I was like, okay.
This poor man is just trying to make sure you look gorgeous.
Yeah,
and you're
he's like, and I guess my mom was like, she's gonna need hair and makeup.
Oh.
And he was like, you should make sure to do your hair for this random tour.
You're like, what are you trying to say?
Why do I need to do my hair? But then I got it. And then there was another surprise, which was incredible, because I'm incredibly close with my parents, and they weren't there for the proposal. But we went to Paris afterwards, maybe a day or two later. And we were going to this restaurant, La Coupole, that we went growing up. We'd go to Paris every summer. My family is French, my dad's family. And when we got there, we said, oh, Deschanel. And she said, Caleb. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was like, oh, no, that's because they just have it in their system. And then we walked in. My parents were sitting there waiting for us. So they surprised us.
Well, that's adorable.
Paris. And Jonathan had arranged
the whole
all that.
thing.
Yeah, he's very thoughtful.
That's really, really cute.
Person. Yeah.
Okay, are you wedding planning?
Yes, but it's really a lot of pressure because he designs incredible spaces, and I'm like, there's no space worthy of such a wedding. It's really hard to find. That's not a gazillion,
of course,
dollars.
So
you just got married.
Yes, I got married almost 2 years ago, a year and a half.
Was that so fun?
It was so amazing, but I really, really loved that my husband took such part in the planning, if not really helped do it, because I was like, I don't want to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And again, to each their own. There are some women that are like, I'm doing this whole thing, but I really wanted my husband to plan it.
Yeah.
And we went through all these different locations and all the things, and then we eventually found what we wanted to do, and it was perfect, but it is very stressful.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's stressful.
Yeah.
So you're going to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we've both been married before.
Right.
So I'm like, this one has to be the most fun. And
but maybe that takes less pressure, right? Because you've had weddings before.
Yeah,
so maybe you can be like, what do we want now? You guys, you kind of get to have a do-over.
I know, which is why it takes forever.
Right. You're like, oh God. You're like, he's like, oh, we'll do this. You're like, no, but I did that wedding and that was not fun. Nix that. I was gonna say, because you guys have both been married before, as you were getting more serious, how openly were you able to just talk about past relationships and what worked and what didn't work?
Yeah. I'm very open. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy because I'm pretty open. But the thing is to me, it's just all about chemistry. It's what. It's he and I can be together and it's easy, and so I think it's more just about you know how people like, that person's the one or whatever. I think what that means is that you can be around them and it's like feels like easy and like not stressful. And, you know, it just like, that's what I felt when I was with him. And I think he feels the same way, where it's just like we can be together and like have fun, but also like he likes to tinker around the house. He's always like fixing stuff and he has like a list of things. And like I like to go out and go shopping, whatever I like to do, you know, and hang out with my cats or whatever. And yeah, we can just be around each other. It's easy.
It's amazing. You said in an interview that people think of divorce as this terrible thing and you have to hate each other, but that isn't true. What has your experience been like?
Yeah, I don't hate anyone that I was with before. And you know, it's awesome because my kid's dad is a great dad, and like I always want to like support him as a parent. And we have like a, you know, it's like we have a group chat, like Jonathan and Jacob and I, and yeah, I mean, like my kids thrive when they know that we all care for each other, and you know, and we socialize, and we've been on vacations together, and like, you know, we've been through a lot. So you know, and it's like I explained to my son, I remember when he was little and he was like, wait, because he was so little he doesn't remember like before we got divorced, but he goes like, how come you and daddy don't live in the same house? And I was like, we get along better if we're in different houses.
It's a good way to say it. You're like, this is actually better for everyone, but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
We get along great as long as we're in different houses.
So true. What boundaries do you think, like, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, that sounds so great, like to have like a healthy relationship with exes and whatever, but like what boundaries do you think have to be in place to just make sure that, you know, you can have blended families?
Yeah.
If you have any advice.
Oh yeah. I talk to people about this all the time because there are people like, it's really hard for them to let go of like feeling mad. You have to let go of like any anger you'd feel. And I know that sounds difficult, but it's actually pretty easy when you just go like, look, the most important thing is that the kids are happy and that they're thriving. And it's kind of like respecting them for them. You know, it's like I respect his opinions and his point of view, like being a parent. It's not always the same as mine, but like he respects mine. And so I think, and two, if you set the tone too, you go like, I respect you, then people are a lot more likely to be like, then I respect you, you know? So like, I think it goes both ways. So then he'll respect me and I respect him. And then it just keeps, and then the respect just keeps generating and building, you know?
Yeah. It's like just having like an understanding that yes, things didn't work out, but we have these beautiful children. So to like maintain love there for the kids is like beautiful.
Yeah, he's a fantastic dad. I'm so lucky that, you know, he's my kid's dad.
I know I read that you said you and your ex agreed to meet each other's partners before they met the kids. Why was that something that was so important to you guys?
Yeah, just I think, you know, that's the one like really big unknown when you get divorced. And I think it also gives a sense, there's a little bit of a boundary there so that the kids like, they get attached to whoever you're with. And if they're meeting the kids and they're around the kids, then they are going to get attached. And it's like, you don't want anyone to take that lightly. Like, I wouldn't want them to get attached to somebody unless I knew they were going to be in their lives, you know? So even if it, you know, so it kind of set up this just a little bit of a protocol so that we took it seriously before we'd introduce a partner to the kids.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Pacifica. Pacifica has been 100% vegan and cruelty-free since day one. No animals harmed, no exceptions. They help turn your everyday routines into acts of well-being, packing their skincare, makeup, and beauty products with natural plant-powered ingredients. And yes, they smell incredible. Truly aromatherapy level products. Everything from Pacifica is conscious, effective, and totally guilt-free. Here's the secret, Daddy Gang. You don't really need to spend $80 for a vitamin C to actually work. Pacifica's Glow Baby Booster Serum is formulated with a daily dose of stabilized vitamin C and natural kakadu plum extract to keep your skin radiant, glowing, and even toned. Plus, Does your skincare smell like creamsicle? I'm obsessed with the vanilla and fresh orange scent. This serum addresses fine lines, wrinkles, and dullness, brightening your whole face and therefore your whole mood. Get glowing, Daddy Gang. Hit up www.pacificabeauty.com and use Call Her Daddy for 20% off. Your glow up just got way more affordable. Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Tinder. All right, let's talk about Tinder. Or better yet, let's talk about the early days euphoria that comes with having a new crush. The kind of crush where you've been maybe down bad, but in the best way, okay? You cannot stop thinking about them. Every single song reminds you of them, and you are making up scenarios about them in your head. There's kind of nothing better, right? Well, amazing news. That crush feeling is waiting for you on Tinder. Like literally right now, you have no idea what is out there unless you start looking. And Daddy Gang, the possibilities are endless. Once you have a crush, even the most mundane moments become beyond monumental. It is time to find the person who makes your entire day better by simply just texting you, hey, with a smiley face. You deserve it, okay? We all know there's no better feeling, and finding a new crush is easier than you think. Thanks to Tinder. Explore all of the possibilities for yourself. Tinder, it starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. You have a new movie coming out, which is why I'm in this crazy outfit, but we're celebrating the holidays, Zoe.
Yes.
Merv, congratulations. What can you tell us about the movie and just like, how do you feel about it?
It's such a cute movie. I'm really, really excited about it. It's got so much fun stuff. It's a rom-com, which like I love rom-coms so much. And like, I feel like they went away for a while. Like there weren't that many of them. And I feel happy there's like, more stuff like that coming out because I feel like people crave rom-coms. It's such a sweet story. It's with Charlie Cox, who's amazing, great actor, and is really funny and great in this. It's about a couple that breaks up, but they share a dog, and then the dog becomes depressed, and then they end up having to take the dog on a beach vacation to try to cheer him up over the holidays. So we have holidays, we have dogs, we have rom-com.
Okay, wait, but you're a cat person. So
I know.
Did this sway you to be more of a dog person?
Well, I was a dog person.
Oh, okay. What
happened? I only
happened?
recently became a cat person.
Oh.
I love dogs. But they're a little more like maintenance.
Yes. Yeah.
And I actually love both dogs and cats. And I would call my cats kind of, well, my favorite cat. Sorry. I love them all, but she's kind of like a dog cat.
What is her name?
Her name is Dove. She's like really fluffy and cute. And the reason why, like I say it, like she's my favorite. The other ones would get it. If
they're
they
listening
understood,
to this obviously right now.
They're big fans.
They're all listening right now.
But yeah, well, she just loves me the most, and she like jumps in my lap. She's like really, really affectionate. They're really affectionate cats.
So, what made you want to do another holiday movie?
Well, I didn't really. When I read this, I didn't like think like that was like it's more of like a holiday movie in that it has holiday as a backdrop, and you can watch it on Christmas and feel Christmassy. But it's not like Elf where it's like holidays front and center. I'd say like rom-com and dog are front and center, and then holiday is like is an accent color. Yeah, it's like piping on a sweater, like a collar, like a nice scarf.
What was your favorite part of making this movie?
It was so fun. Jess Swale, the director, I love her, and Charlie is amazing, and it was really fun working with the two of them, and kind of we kind of like did a lot of improvisation and trying to make it like the most kind of funny version of itself was really so much fun. I hadn't done like a really big dog movie, and that was funny to watch the dog just like loves sausages.
You're like, there was a lot of things I saw on that set that were
the dog just like loves, like they have these little bits of sausage and the dog's just obsessed.
And that's how you got him to like sit. Stay.
Like he looks so cute and you're like, it's because he's looking at a sausage.
Honestly, in hindsight, my dogs would probably love to be on a movie set because you just like coerce them with treats every 5 seconds. Like stay, sit, don't move.
They have health. So like basically they give them like healthy treats so that it's not like they're
not just plumping up the whole They're
not like bad for you treats, so they're very healthy treats.
It's really cute.
But they'll give them like chicken breasts and stuff like that. But yeah, and sausages.
Well, I'm so excited for everyone to watch it. Where can we watch it?
It's on Amazon.
Love.
Yes.
Okay. Well, everyone will tune in. Zoe, thank you so much for coming on Color Daddy. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
This was lovely.
A very special holiday episode.
Brought to you by Zoe and Alex. Happy holidays, everyone. You're like, now I wish. Do you wish you wore a little suit? You're like, no. You're like, no.
I'm mad at myself for not.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.